Well, howdy, Bass Nation. I was not planning on making this video for sure. Took the boat out Saturday for a little bit of swimming and fishing with the kids. 4th of July weekend, just to kind of mess around on Lynn Valley Lake, so it was kind of too heavily trafficked to really worry about fishing, so we did more of a swimming. Instead of starting the big motor, I actually just used the trolley motor. It started to cut out on me a little bit. It's the 80-pound thrust, 24-volt Ultrex, even though I have a 36-volt system. And started to cut in and out. Seemed a little weird, didn't think much of it, just thought maybe I didn't charge my battery all the way or something. So wasn't thinking anything of it. Continued to fish, dropped anchors. Continued to swim with the kids, dropped the anchors on the talons. Enjoyed a few hours of swimming and drinking a few drinks, and nothing ever came from it the rest of the day. And then last night I went out to Lacine Lake on, what was that, Monday night. Got out there kind of late, was testing a new prop that I had bought, and decided to go ahead and fish while I was out there. Dropped the trolley motor down, trolling along. All of a sudden it's not working. I'm like, what the heck? So today I come home to look at it and start messing with it. I have nothing. No power, no nothing. It will turn left and right, no problems. But for some reason it just quit working. So it smells a little funny down here around the prop area, like possibly burnt motor or something. So I'm going to take it off, take it up to Jerry's Trolley Motor Shop up in North Kansas City, or it's off of like 152 Berry Road area up by the National Golf Course. Going to take it up to him. Last time I had an issue with it, everything was covered under warranty. I think I'm outside the warranty now, so this could get it. In the meantime, I'm going to take this off, and I bought a replacement trolley motor. But instead of going back with the Ultrex, I want to try out the Garmin Force. So I run all Garmin units, Garmin Live Scope, got the new forward-facing transducer mount. So figured, why not? Let's go ahead and go Garmin on this boat. I run all Garmin's on it anyways, and if nothing's wrong with this and it's easily repairable, it will be a backup trolley motor for my other boats. So we're gonna go from there. Let's get this disassembled. Alrighty, so the hyperlapse quit recording there, but I've got the trolley motor completely off. I've got to clean up all the dust, probably from Bone Creek, all the times down that gravel road. Clean up all that dust, grab the Garmin Force, and get it unpackaged and unboxed and get it installed. Alright, here's what 31 or 3,200 bucks looks like before tax. At least the cardboard box anyways. Ta-da! Time to get her installed. Alright, so step A was to mount the actual housing to the boat, making sure that the nose cap is further than the boat's nose, preferably as center as you can get it on the boat. And then step 2 was B, which was insert the bushings in here and then put the rod through to attach it to here. Step C was to line up this little shaft with this little safety pin. Screw those down. Now we're going to be on step D, which is insert these upper bushings into the upper part of the housing and put in the next rod. So sorry, I kind of forgot to record there for a minute, got excited, started to put stuff together. So I'm going to put this bushing in here like I did, and I'm going to slide over here and do this one real quick, and then we're going to put the rod in. Alright, so the next step, now that we got step C done, is step D. We put the bushings in. This is going to flip up. Make sure you undo the wire, the tape that was on there for your signal or
Alright, so the next step was to hook up the loose wire that we untaped from the housing into the display panel. So the display panel's here, the wire was taped here. It's kind of hard to see, but it plugs in right up underneath here, underneath this display. So just find the display, make sure the little slice in the connector is lined up with a little line on the connector so you don't force it, and then just screw clockwise. And the next step is E, which is getting the pull handle. So your handle, the bottom, put it through. Looks like they're asking for a washer next. And then a little pin, cotter pin looking deal. And then top. Give ourselves enough room here to wedge this pin. Alright, so the pin is wedged, and then the top of the pull handle, like so. And these two little itty bitty screws. I have to go get my eyeglass screwdriver out. I'll be back. Now, every good wife has her own little cool little toolkit. I don't have Phillips bits this small. Thankfully, she's awesome. Has these cool tools, and lets me buy new Trolly motors. It's for the kids. All right. So the next thing you're going to do is put it in the stowed position. So the next thing you're going to do is put it in the stowed position. Route your cable, your power cable, down through this track on the starboard side, or the driver's side, and then put this nice little safety cable clamp on, which is in bag F. It holds the transducer cable for the standard built-in transducer, and the power cable nice and snug. It does say leave a little bit of slack, a nice rounded, so you have plenty of slack. Now we're on to the next step. Before you get too far ahead of yourself, the next step is actually the same step as the last time, but just the other side of the little track. So put the other clamp on, get her nice and snug, holds that transducer cable and power cable in there perfectly. Okay, so the next step is a little bit different bracket. It's got a little lock spot that locks in down here. And you're going to put the wires in there again. And the difference is that one's going to be on the top, so it makes me switch. If I would have known that, I would have had these all with the transducer cable on top, but not that big of a deal. Just shows one little twist. And to also switch it up on you, they switched to a Phillips head for this one application, instead of the Allen the other ones have been. It still looks nice and clean. So the Phillips. So the next step is to secure your last little gas mechanism. It's got a little spot for the hook to slide in. Get it on there. Alright. And you gotta go back to your bag C, little itty bag. And then I propped mine up with my drill. Probably could find something better to do with it than that, but I wanted to have enough room to get this in here. Because if not, it's kind of awkward. that's installed, we'll go on to the next step.
Go.
All right, so the next step is installing the prop. So I guess I can go ahead and take my prop off. Okay. So you need the prop, you need a little ball bearing spacer looking deal, and then the flat washer, then the locking washer, and then the nut, and then of course the pin goes behind the prop, like any other standard prop. Come down here and put it in. One thing I always recommend when putting in a prop is always have this horizontal, especially when you're doing it on water, if you're ever changing it on the water. Put your pin in, that way it doesn't fall out. If you have it vertical or diagonal, sometimes that pin will fall out. Get your thing horizontal. And then this is the spacer, flat washer, locking washer, nut, and then let me grab my ratchet there that I already have ready. Put the pin in, horizontal, slid the prop on. It's a 2-blade prop, then the little spacer, flat washer, locking washer, and then the 9/16 nut. We're going to tighten that down. It is a good idea to get in the habit of checking your prop every couple times after being on the water. There's no offense, if you fish with my wife or kids, you're bound to determine to end up with some braid. Ain't that right, honey? All right. We're good.
Okay.
All right, so last but not least, if you're running Garmin's, I'm sure they make a connector if you're not. There's a built-in transducer on these, so you can get up front, side scan, and down scan, I believe. I have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it gets both. And then obviously traditional. And then however you're gonna hook up your power. I already have a main power supply up in here, once I find it here. So, I have my main power supply that goes back to a 60 amp breaker, which is the minimum. So I'm going to hook these up. That will be good to go. And then I'm going to hook up my graphs. I run Garmin, so it's going to be pretty much a plug and play kit. And then hook back up my live scope. They do have an extra trough to hide your live scope wire in on the other side, which is a nice feature. So it won't have the chances to get all tangled up like when it was hooked up to my Ultrex. So I'm going to get this all wired up, put everything back together, and then we'll get it out on the water tomorrow and test it out. Thanks for tuning in.